mind and body, breath and belief. Healing starts deeper than what you can see. Victoria Kennedy, guiding the way, where spirit and science meet every day. Real talk, real tools, helping you align. Welcome to the space where the body meets mind.
Hello everyone, I'm Victoria Kennedy, medium clairvoyant from Los Angeles, California. And on today's very first episode of Spiritually Influenced, I'll be giving a little bit of background about who I am, and we will also have a discussion that will cover real talk, real life, real problems, and spirituality. So let's get into this. First of all, thank you for joining me here today. Depending on where you live, it could be morning, afternoon, evening, or late at night. Wherever you are, know you are meant to be here. There's so many podcasts that vary from topic to topic, and we tend to listen to them when we're driving, cleaning, while we sit in the backyard, maybe while you're even gardening, or perhaps before you go to bed. I remember when I was a kid, and no, we did not have podcasts, and no, it was not in the Stone Ages either. But often I think back as to, what if there were podcasts? Would it have helped me out? Possibly. But then, what if the podcasts are around? Would they have maybe given me the incorrect information, or maybe even the information I was not really looking for? Who knows? I was raised in a home that it was taught to me to love God, but to never question God, because we're not supposed to question God whatsoever. Well, that never sat well with me. I always have seen angels, guides, the ascended masters, as long as I could remember. But the thing is, I did not know what I was seeing, what I was hearing, or what I was feeling. I just knew it would never, ever hurt me. As time went on, I continued to see more and more. I could hear people's thoughts. I could look at a person and instantly read them. I then began to develop seeing these amazing bright colors around people and pets. Some colors were so bold and bright and beautiful, and others were not. I started to recognize the colors that were dull was a result of that particular person having some type of a medical related condition, and he or she would be transitioning soon. Then there's others who would have dark colors around them, and that taught me that that person was either involved in some type of magic, or they were just so mad all the time that they actually had attachments to them. Their energy was just so heavy. I mean, to the point where I could smell the darkness. And trust me, it's not pretty. As I continued to grow up and I began to learn the names of my spiritual family, such as my guides, angels, and ascended masters, but still none of this made sense to me until one night I went to a housewarming party at my cousin's home. And this is where it all kind of takes off. Something about, I remembered I went and I picked up a very good friend of mine at the time. And we both went to my cousin's home, and I remember before all of this even happened, he had actually told me that I don't know if the people he was living with either had practiced black magic or were practicing black magic. Well, first of all, let me just say, I'm not here to bash anyone's craft. I'm not here to talk bad about anyone's craft, okay? I think that everyone has their own right to practice whatever it is that they want to practice. But I just remember that he told me that he just stopped one day. But he never told me why. He never said, this is why I stopped. And then again, I never even asked him. And now when I look at this in retrospect, maybe I should have asked him. Because I just remember us being at my cousin's home. And of course, I'm going to have family there. And I remember I went to go say hello to my family. And when I come back, I see him talking to this girl who's at my cousin's house. And she was telling me that she's a white witch and only used it for good. Well, what I saw was not used for good. I just remember she leaned back in a bar stool and her chest rose, I want to say, literally about 4 to 5 inches. And she had all these dark floaters that were around her. I had absolutely no idea at the time what was going on, but I knew it was not good. It did not feel good. And I just heard, go outside, go outside. So I went outside. He came after me and said, I told her to stop. Well, she didn't stop. She continued on doing whatever she was doing. And as we were driving, he began howling. His eyes were pitch black, and I knew something had taken over him. I remember as if literally as if it was yesterday. That's how vivid everything still is. I remember I was just saying, Jesus, I need you right now, not tomorrow or a week from now, but right now. And for some odd reason, I needed to experience that. I mean, there was so much more that had gone on, but we would need several podcasts to discuss that further. Literally, we would need. Either way, I knew that I was protected, and that voice that I heard to get outside was my spiritual family. In a nutshell, telling me to get the hell out of there, girl. Just run. So let's talk about our spiritual family. Who are they and how are we able to access them? So let's talk about our spiritual family. Who are they and how are we able to access them? Well, your spiritual family are your guides, guardian angels, ascended masters, and all the beautiful many. I feel we have so many beautiful spiritual beings that are here with us that we have no idea who they are. So I call them the beautiful many because they are our God-given spiritual family. You know, before being born, we sit with our guardian angels, our spirit guides, and I can only assume with God. We are put here on earth because we have asked to be. We choose our parents, siblings, friends, our kids, husband, and our wife. Some of us ask ourselves, why would I have chosen this to be my way of life? It's so difficult. The thing is, we are all here to learn. This is literally a school. For example, my father, he was a chronic alcoholic who'd already had some mental related issues going on, but it didn't truly show until after the war. He suffered tremendously from everything he had seen, and this just put everything into overdrive for him. Unfortunately, my relationship with him was pretty much non-existent. I could have become a victim of his mental abuse, or I could learn from it, which I have. I have learned that causing mental harm on others is not a good thing. And I am not allowing his legacy to affect me or my relationship with life or even with myself. With that said, I have embraced all lessons of life, whether I've asked for them or not. And with life, we don't ask for anything because the one thing we cannot do is live in victim mode. I didn't ask, well, do I need to pay this water bill? I didn't ask, well, do I need to put gas in my car? Because those are daily things that we need to take on the responsibility within here, within Earth. And what did we learn if we don't pay our electrical bill? Well, our lights will be turned off. What happens if we don't put gas in our car? What are we going to learn from that? I'm going to be driving and run out of gas. In life, it's important to embrace the life you have, to learn from it and to move forward. In real life, we have to ask ourselves, what have I learned from whatever the experience is? What am I willing to change so it no longer affects me? When you are able to truly embrace the fact that this is a school teaching you life lessons, you will begin to see absolutely every single thing with a different perspective. Some feel I did not have the daily struggles of life because I'm a medium, which is so not true. I have to put gas in my car. I have to pay my light bill and so forth. But the one thing I don't do is dwell on things. This is how you become a victim of your own circumstance. I want to continue evolving. I want to continue learning and being able to teach. Remember, life is always what you make it. Of course, I have bills. I have car payments, I have a mortgage, just like all of you. God has been very good to not only myself, but my family. There is never a need for me to stress. Even when we're in the middle of a freaking pandemic, I refuse to live in fear. The more you fear, the more you limit yourself and you build those blockages. When you can fully embrace everyday life, all the struggles, and bring in your spirituality, you see things through a different perspective. We're not meant to struggle, but we do. We are not meant to get sick, but we do. You're not meant to have problems, but you do. This is part of life. We all have BS in our life. Everything in life is about learning so you can move forward and teach others. When you begin your spiritual quest, talk about changing perspectives. You have absolutely no idea until you begin your spiritual quest, your spiritual journey. It's one of beauty. So let me give you an example. Let's say you have a group of friends who you always hang out with, stay out late, get drunk, get sick the following day because you're drinking too much. This is your weekend norm, and you feel your group of friends are your world. When you are with your so-called group of friends and let's say waiting for others to arrive from your group of friends begin talking about, let's say someone in the group who may have been making out with someone at the club and felt that this person was ugly. What were they thinking? But when they show up, what happens? That mumbling stops. So what does this say to you? Well, it says, guess what? They talk about you too. Then you begin to have second thoughts. You're tired of doing the same thing and waking up on the weekends with no money and feeling like crap. You want something different. You begin to explore religion, but then that would cause you to have to wake up early on Sundays. And you're like, yeah, I really don't want to have to do that. You want something more, but don't know what it is. Then you're scrolling on TikTok one night, or you're on IG or on some other platform, and there it is. You see a post about spirituality and being able to live your own life, having a purpose. And guess what? You don't have to wake up early on Sundays either. You can still be spiritual, love God, and be inside of your home. You can worship God. You can have that personal relationship with God anywhere you choose. Your friends begin to notice a change in you, and guess what? Who is talking behind your back? That's right, your so-called friend who mocks you because you're wanting bigger and better for yourself. Your circle of friends becomes smaller, but in the process, you're gaining new friends that support and uplift you. And this is what happens when you begin your spiritual journey. Your circle of friends becomes smaller and smaller. Spirituality, it awakens your inner soul, and you begin to connect with the divine, your higher self, and the rest of your beautiful and amazing spiritual family. And your beautiful and amazing spiritual family, all they want to do is guide you. They want to be able to support you. They want to be able to uplift you. Your spiritual family will never knock you down. Your spiritual family will never talk bad about you because they're not in the same light as we are. They're in a much higher level of light compared to what we are. So just know that will never happen. So then you want to know, okay, well, if I become spiritual, will that take away all of my life problems? Not at all. It won't. I'm being honest with you. But it shows you how to take that step back, to breathe and to reevaluate each situation differently. This is when you allow that beautiful divine energy of God that dwells deep within our beings to teach you and to show you. Then those problems simply just fade away. You learn how to trust the God within you and how God listens to everything you say. One thing I know for a fact is that when you ask God for help, guess what? God helps you at the right time when you least expect it. God is always listening and talking with us. And the reason why we're not able to fully hear God is because we, meaning us humans, we're always going and going and going. If we don't have our laptops on, we have our phones, we're scrolling on social media, we're thinking about our bills, our groceries, and how you, one person, can begin to save the entire world. Our minds are never quiet until we sleep. Once your minds are quiet enough for God to get through, then that's when you have that aha moment. That is when God was able to finally get through to you. There are so many self-help books, but the self-help books are based off of what has worked for that particular person and at that moment in their life. In order for them to be able to help you, you have to be able to connect with that person who has written the book, and it must resonate with you so it can fully help you. Unfortunately, there is no book that was handed to you when you were born. You were born with chaos, with the limited beliefs that our parents have instilled within us. Those limited beliefs of having to fear God, to never question God, to grow up, get married, and have kids. These are all limited beliefs that are programmed within us. Why do we fear God? I don't know about you, but I don't fear God. If I did, then my perspective of God would be different. Think about it. If you're fearful of your parents, you won't tell them anything. You will feel that, well, first of all, why am I going to tell my parents? They're not going to understand. They'll hold it over my head for years to come. They'll make me feel bad. This is not what the divine wants for you, for us, for any of us. God says, give me your problems. God wants you to come with him and tell him all your problems and what you need help with. And don't get me wrong, this isn't a religious sermon, but it's to let you know that even a spiritual person can love and have a personal relationship with God. It has no bearing if you're straight or if you're gay or the color of your skin. God loves all. And why wouldn't God love us? God made you, God made me, and so forth. This is the thing. We were programmed by man-made rules that we are to never question God. Again, I always want to know why. And this is just me being curious. God's not a jealous God. God is not a vengeful God. These are all human emotions. And God is nothing but an energetic being filled with so much love and light. God loves us all. And when I say all, I mean He loves the worst of the worst. There is no hate. There is no disappointment in God because God only knows love, unconditional love and light. Again, you can still be spiritual and love God. There's a saying, half hood, half holy. Guess what? Even if you're hood and holy, God still loves you. Spirituality is hidden deep within you, hidden deep within all of us. It's waiting to show you a new way of life, but it has to be you who wants to make that change. You can still belong to a church. You can still say the rosary. You can still listen to music you want to. Trust me, I can listen to gangster rap and Christian music all within 30 minutes. Talk about half hood and half holy. I am your prime example. Again, I have all the problems in life that all of you have. But the only difference is I give all my problems, worries, concerns to God, and I trust that it's now in His hands. Have you ever heard of blind faith? This is knowing that God is there even when you do not see, feel, or hear God. When you are in a beautiful spiritual place within your own self, you can hear God, you can feel God, and you can see God. This is where we all fall short. And trust me, I do as well. It's the trust knowing there is something more than what meets the eye. That's what blind faith is. Just knowing that there is a divine presence within each and every one of us. That is blind faith. Knowing that when our loved ones transition and they're going to go with God to do who knows what, that's blind faith. Just knowing that God is here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And my question would be to God is, how the heck do you manage every single one of us? I definitely need God's time management skills, that's for sure. All right, everyone, until next time, stay well, stay blessed, stay grounded.
Wisdom, take it inside. Every small step is part of the climb. Honor the journey, trust what you find. The answers live where truth lies. Until next